Nucleolus. Nuclear membrane. Chromatin. Chromatid. Centromere. Chromosome. Cell membrane. Centrosomes. Spindle fiber.
The cell cycle is composed of two phases, interphase and the mitotic phase. Interphase consists of three subphases, G1, synthesis, and G2. In G1, the cell grows in size. In synthesis, loosely wound DNA, or chromatin, is replicated within the nuclear membrane. In G2, all organelles, including the centrosome, replicate. This replication of organelles ends interphase and the mitotic phase begins. The mitotic phase contains two subphases, which are mitosis and cytokinesis. Mitosis consists of five subphases, prophase being the first. It begins when the nucleolus disappears and the two chromatin intertwine and coil to form chromosomes. These chromosomes consist of the two sister chromatids held by the centromere. The centrosomes, which are now replicated, so there's two, begin to move away from each other and towards opposite poles of the cell. Spindle fibers made from microtubules push the centromeres towards the poles. Then comes metaphase, where the nuclear membrane completely disappears. The centrosomes reach opposite poles and the extending spindle fibers attach to the kinetochores of the chromosomes. There are also spindle fibers that do not connect to kinetochores, and these are called non-kinetochore spindle fibers. The spindle fibers also push the chromosomes towards the equator of the cell. The third phase is known as metaphase, and it begins when the centromeres of the chromosomes line up at the equator of the cell, which is also known as the metaphase plate. The fourth phase is known as anaphase. It begins when the kinetochores separate, which in turn separates the sister chromatids, which are now considered daughter chromosomes. Motor proteins move the chromatids along spindle fibers to opposite poles of the cell. The fibers are destroyed in this process, except for the non-kinetochore spindle fibers, which remain intact and elongate the cell by pushing on each other. The next phase is telophase, and this is the last phase of mitosis, and it begins as a nuclear membrane and nucleolus are formed, and as the cell continues to elongate. The daughter chromosomes also uncoil and become chromatin. The second subphase of the mitotic phase is cytokinesis, and this occurs while telophase is also occurring. The cytoplasm and all organelles are divided during cytokinesis. In animal cells, a cleavage furrow is formed. This furrow pinches off the cell into two identical daughter cells. In plant cells, a wall of vesicles forms, which creates a plate, which becomes a cell wall, creating two identical daughter cells. These daughter cells now begin the cell cycle, starting at